Hey, it's me again. I'm back. Only after a few days this time instead of many, many years. Let's talk about gambling. Now, I'm not talking about gambling in casinos, legal licensed gambling. I'm talking about gambling in particular with live streaming, where kids can see that sort of thing. In particular, Twitch. Twitch, as you may know, is the biggest live streaming platform probably ever. Maybe YouTube, Facebook, TikTok are catching up. I don't know the share of market that they still have, but it's still huge, as I'm sure you know. Twitch, if we just look at it, Twitch is it mainly has loads of different games on it that people are streaming all the time. But number 8 on that list at the moment is slots. Slots is huge. Streaming gambling is massive for many reasons. There are tons of people who do it, and in fact, one of them is right down here. His name is Rothstein, which I prepared earlier, and he's probably the biggest gambler on Twitch. Rothstein has 14,600 people watching him right now, and today is the 16th of October, 6:30 p.m. But gambling in Twitch is coming to an end as we know it. It's been banned. Twitch released this statement not that long ago on the something or other of September, where they said gambling content on Twitch has been a big topic of discussion in the community for many good, valuable reasons, as you expect people to be discussing gambling and whether or not it should continue on the platform. And it's something that they've been looking at. And in particular, on this day, they made a decision to ban it. They were going to be prohibiting the streaming of gambling sites that include slots, roulette, or dice games, in particular, that aren't licensed in either the US or jurisdictions, and that provides sufficient consumer protection. So it doesn't remain to be seen if someone who isn't licensed in the US but does provide sufficient consumer protection, whatever that means, and whether they'd be allowed. But in particular, they name dropped stake.com, Rollbit, Jewelbit, Roobet, and so on. They said that they'd update us gambling policy very soon. They're making updates. I don't think we've had any updates. In fact, this is from a tweet from a guy called Outlaw TV. I don't know who you are, but shout out for you anyway. Saying that, it's nearing the October 18th and we don't know anything about it. This guy looks like a gambling sympathizer because he's saying, don't break record of this. It may be the situation 50-50 and we'll just forget that this ever happened. But I doubt that's going to happen. I think a lot of people have been waiting for the October 18th deadline. But all of this came about because of this guy. It's Slicker. Now, I'm sure you've heard about this guy. It's Slicker, but essentially he came out as he'd been found out for stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars off his viewers, fellow streamers, and everyone else in between. So he came out on a few months ago. He made a video where he was faffing around with his stream for a while and then started crying right on cue when he realized he's being videoed and claimed he wasn't a victim. Man, I never knew this thing was gonna come, bro. I mean, this guy's an absolute piece of scum, that's certain. But he has a problem. He has a gambling problem that came from gambling CSGO boxes, which is, something that FaZe Banks has been found to do. He was operating a CSGO gambling website that made $200,000 a day. And that's kind of what brings me to my next point, right? If there's that much money involved in this, I just can't see it disappearing overnight. I'm just convinced that no matter what, these guys will find a way to gamble. They'll find a way to get that across. Maybe they'll change platforms. They'll move over to YouTube gaming. They'll move over to TikTok or Facebook or whatever. Or maybe they'll just find a way through those laws and rules that Twitch have not really made clear yet. But anyway, I think that's something that remains to be seen. But I fully expect gambling to carry on. One of the things I wanted to make a point about in this video, though, is that people watch these streams for different reasons. People like me watch them for entertainment, largely. Some people got into gambling because of these streams, but I am aware that there's a fair few people out there. I'm not sure what percentage. I couldn't even hazard a guess, but they were watching it to control their own addiction, and they found that watching these streams prevented them from gambling because they got a kick out of watching the gamblers on Twitch stream whose odds were ridiculously skewed, not necessarily in terms of the game itself, but just in terms of the money and the incentives that they're getting from these casinos. They're basically playing on infinite money mode. They are playing the real games, I think, for most of the time, but I think they are getting ridiculous amounts of money to play these games, which makes common folk think that they can play and win as well. It's just not true. A lot of them have made a good point, Trainwrecks TV in particular, of saying that you should never gamble. Say Trainwrecks TV. Don't forget his name is actually Trainwreck. Trainwrecks TV is a possessive noun of TV, so his username is definitely Trainwreck. I'm sure that's confirmed somewhere, but Trainwreck has definitely come out and said that you should never gamble. But it doesn't prevent. It just people are people, and they will gamble if they think it's gonna give them a chance to win. Maybe I could win that big too. But I did want to say, for those people out there who have been watching to maintain their own gambling, if you feel like you're going to need help after this, if you're based in the UK, gamcare.org.uk is a great resource. They've got over 25 years of experience, and they really help people understand that gambling is a problem, when it's a problem, and help you get help. You've got loads of ways of talking to them, chatting by calling and live chat, WhatsApp chat, Facebook messengers, forums, group chats. I've never had any experience of gambling addiction myself, but I have a somewhat addictive personality, so I understand addiction in some ways. So I imagine it's really tough if you're involved in this sort of thing. So please get help if you're in the UK with gamcare.org.uk. If you're based in the US, the NCPG, it's the National Council on Problem Gambling, have got over 50 years of experience, and their website is ncpgambling.org. So if you guys are out there and you are the type that was controlling their addiction by getting a buzz off watching these streamers, and you're worried about what you're going to do after the 18th, this is something I would recommend for you. So let's keep it wholesome, and thanks for watching. Till next time. Peace. Let's talk about gambling for a second. Now, I'm not talking about you gambling or me gambling in particular, but gambling on Twitch. And if you don't know Twitch, I'm sure you do.